Everyone remembers the score. Spain 1. Argentina 0. But what if that score tells only half the story? Because the biggest moment of this World Cup final didn't happen when the ball crossed the line. It happened long before that. So here's the question. What really happened to Argentina? How did a team that looked unstoppable throughout the tournament suddenly lose control on football's biggest stage? Did Spain discover a weakness that nobody else could see? Or did Argentina lose a battle that had nothing to do with talent? Stay with us. Because the real answer isn't hidden inside the goal. It's hidden inside every decision that came before it. Before we uncover the truth, if you love football stories that go beyond the headlines, subscribe and join us for more. Now, let's go back. Before the final, Argentina looked like the complete team. They attacked with confidence, defended with intensity, and played every match with the belief that the trophy was already within reach. Every victory made them stronger, and every performance convinced millions of fans that this was their World Cup to lose. Spain arrived with a completely different mindset. They didn't talk about revenge. They didn't promise domination. Instead, they trusted something much more powerful. Patience. That decision would quietly change everything. When the referee blew the opening whistle, the entire football world expected Argentina to control the match. But after only a few minutes, something strange started happening. Argentina had possession. Argentina had the energy. Argentina had the support of millions. So why did Spain look more comfortable? Why did every passing minute seem to help Spain instead of Argentina? The answer wasn't obvious. And that's exactly why so many people missed it. Spain never tried to match Argentina's speed. They slowed the game down. They closed passing lanes instead of chasing the ball. They forced Argentina to play wider than they wanted. Every successful pass looked normal. Every defensive movement looked simple. But together, those small moments slowly changed the entire rhythm of the final. Argentina still looked dangerous. But they no longer looked free. Every attack took a little longer. Every decision required another touch. Every missed opportunity added a little more pressure. And pressure changes football matches. But here's another question. Did Spain actually dominate the final? Or did they simply make Argentina doubt themselves? Because those are two completely different things. Argentina kept believing the breakthrough would come. Spain kept believing their plan would work. One team was searching for answers. The other already had them. That's when the emotional battle became even bigger than the tactical one. Football isn't only played with your feet. It's played with your mind. And on the biggest stage in the world, the strongest mind often wins. Then came the moment everyone remembers. One attack. One opening. One finish. The ball found the back of the net. The stadium exploded. Spain celebrated. Argentina stood still. But the goal wasn't the beginning of the story. It was the reward for everything Spain had been building since the opening whistle. Now Argentina faced a completely different challenge. They weren't chasing a goal anymore. They were chasing time. And time is the one opponent no football team can defeat. Every passing minute increased the pressure. Spain stayed organized. Every defender trusted the player beside him. Every midfielder protected the space. Every second that disappeared made Argentina's task even harder. The crowd believed. The players believed. But belief alone doesn't always change football matches. Sometimes discipline defeats brilliance. Sometimes patience defeats passion. And sometimes the smallest tactical adjustment decides the biggest final on earth. That is why this match became far more than a 1-0 victory. It became a lesson. Not about who had the biggest stars. Not about who had more possession. But about who stayed true to their identity when the pressure reached its highest point. Argentina didn't suddenly become a bad team. they remained one of the strongest sides in the tournament. But on this night, Spain executed their plan almost perfectly. And in football, perfection doesn't happen often. When it does, history remembers it forever. Years from now, many people will remember the score. Some will remember the goal. But those who truly understand football will remember something much deeper. They'll remember that championships are rarely decided by one magical moment. They are decided by hundreds of small decisions that most people never notice. Maybe that was the real story behind Spain's World Cup final victory. Not luck. Not destiny. Just preparation, discipline, belief, and the courage to stay patient when the entire world expected something different. And perhaps that's why football remains the world's most beautiful game. Because sometimes the biggest story isn't the goal everyone celebrates. It's the invisible battle that made that goal possible. But even after the goal, the biggest question still remained. Why couldn't Argentina respond the way they had throughout the rest of the tournament? The answer wasn't simply fatigue. It wasn't a lack of talent. And it certainly wasn't a lack of desire. It was the reality of playing a World Cup final. Every decision suddenly carried enormous weight. Every misplaced pass felt twice as costly. Every missed chance increased the pressure. Spain understood that pressure better with every passing minute. Instead of celebrating too early, they became even more disciplined. The defensive line stayed compact. The midfield refused to leave dangerous spaces. Every player understood that one mistake could erase 90 minutes of hard work. Argentina continued searching for an equalizer. They switched the point of attack. They increased the tempo. They committed more players forward. For brief moments, it looked as if the breakthrough was finally coming. The crowd sensed it. The tension inside the stadium became almost unbearable. Then Spain calmly survived another attack. And another. And another. That's when football becomes a psychological game. Every failed attack gives confidence to one team and quietly steals it from the other. The clock kept moving. 5 minutes disappeared. Then another 5. Argentina still believed. But belief alone cannot create space against a team that refuses to lose its shape. Spain defended as a single unit. Not 11 individuals. One complete team. That unity became their greatest strength. As the final minutes approached, the urgency grew even greater. Argentina pushed higher. Spain defended deeper. Every clearance felt like a small victory. Every interception brought the final whistle a little closer. This was no longer just a tactical contest. It had become a battle of concentration. One lapse in focus could change history. Yet Spain remained composed. They never abandoned their identity. They never allowed the emotion of the occasion to replace the discipline that had brought them this far. And that may have been the biggest difference between the two finalists. Not quality. Not talent. But emotional control under the highest possible pressure. When the referee finally looked at his watch, millions of fans already knew what was coming. One final whistle. One unforgettable celebration. One heartbreaking defeat. Spain had reached the top of world football. Not because they relied on luck, but because they trusted a plan and executed it when everything was on the line. Argentina walked away disappointed. But defeat does not erase greatness. Reaching a World Cup final is a remarkable achievement. Sometimes football rewards courage. Sometimes it rewards patience. And sometimes it rewards the team that makes just one fewer mistake than its opponent. That's why this final will continue to be discussed for years. Not only because of the scoreline, but because it proved that football's biggest matches are often decided by the smallest details. And maybe that's the greatest lesson of all. On the world's biggest stage, talent gets you to the final. But discipline, composure, and perfect execution are often what make champions. What do you think was the biggest turning point of this final? Was it Spain's tactical discipline? Or was it the pressure that slowly changed Argentina's game? Let us know your thoughts. And if you enjoy football documentaries that go beyond the final score, subscribe for more stories from the world's biggest game.